Welcome to Soccer X TV. I'm here with Robert, patron of Sands United Football Club. Robert, how are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I've been good, thank you.
Good.
It's nice to finally get you on the camera, have a nice chat.
Yeah, it's taken a while. Family life's crazy, work life's crazy, but we're here. So
I can only
hopefully all
imagine.
good.
Yeah, let's just kick it off. So, how has Sands evolved since its inception, and what are the significant milestones that the organization has achieved?
So starting off quite early, we started in June, July time, sort of 2018, which was roughly kind of 6 months or so after me and my wife lost our daughter. Um, we had a charity football game. It was just supposed to be something local, something for local people that I met along my journey of discovering Sands after losing Neve. And following on from that, we started a Sunday League football team, which was mainly just to kind of keep the guys connected. Not long after that, when we started in June 2018, December time, we won Pride of Sport Award, which for us was huge. We'd only been kind of going for 6 months or so. But it was just one of those kind of stories that I think resonated with people. We kind of spoke about it locally, local media and stuff, advertising for players mainly more than anything. But once people kind of found out what the team was about and what it was for, the media kind of took it and rolled with it. And yeah, we were really lucky. And then following on from that, we took part in a documentary with Prince William, which was crazy. You know, the kind of emails I used to get in my phone from different people was bonkers. But yeah, so we got to meet the Prince, and he came down to visit us and spent like 4 or 5 hours talking to me and a couple of the other lads back in 2020. And then myself personally, I was lucky enough, someone nominated me for a Pride Britain Award in 2021, which I won, and I got to meet Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who presented me with he got me a Man United shirt that said Pride of Britain 21 on the back of it, and I got to go out to Manchester and meet him and have a kick around with him, which for me as a Man United fan was pretty iconic. Like to have a kick around with somebody that I watched growing up and really admired. So yeah, it's just like it's been crazy. Sometimes I kind of like 1 minute I'm on a red carpet, the next minute I'm on a building site. Like that's kind of how my life goes sometimes. But yeah, it's been really it's been a wonderful journey to turn something quite devastating into something so positive and kind of try and support other guys out there at the same time.
Really, firstly, I'm really sorry about your loss, and honestly, for what you've done for the community is honestly incredible.
Thank
And
you.
what, from your perspective, what can you say the main goals and objectives of SANS are, and what do you aim to accomplish in supporting the families affected from baby loss?
I think the aims from the football side of it was always to support men. I think men socially, it's never quite been acceptable or accepted for men to show their emotions, to talk about how they feel. Um, they come under a lot of kind of ridicule for it. Sometimes they get shunned away. So for us and for myself personally, like I felt very lost when me and my wife went through our loss. I felt very isolated. I had lots of friends, lots of people that I knew, but at the time, um, nobody reached out really. Nobody kind of knew what to say or how to say it. I think, you know, from their point of view, they were probably sat wondering, do I ring him? Do I text? What do I say? I don't want to upset him. You know, all these kind of things. And I think, you know, I have to kind of show the way for them to follow a little bit. So I had to be strong enough and brave enough to put myself out there and express how I felt and what things I wanted to talk about and didn't want to talk about. But I think overall, from the football side of it, is just to kind of create a community for men that is open. They can talk about things when they're having a bad day, but at the same time, we can still enjoy our lives. Like there was a period of time I felt guilty for smiling, for laughing, even if I was talking with friends and stuff. I felt guilty that I shouldn't be having fun. I shouldn't be enjoying myself. You know, after what I'd been through. But I think you have to find a way to move into a new normal, find a new way of living, and find a new family and a new community that will support you through that. So that's all we've tried to do is just create that community, open the doors to it, let people come. There's no pressure to kind of really talk about anything until they're ready. We've had guys that have joined and will openly express how they feel very early, and there's been guys that have joined and they haven't talked about their experience for 6 months, 9 months or so. I remember one guy we had in the team for about 9 months or so, and um, by joining the team, we knew what he was there for. We knew something had happened, but we never kind of pressured him into talking about anything like that. But one night we were all kind of talking on WhatsApp and stuff, and then all of a sudden, like he'd taken it, he'd found that moment within himself to be able to explain his story, what happened to him, in a message format, and even though it took so long, we'd created that environment over that period of time where he felt comfortable to be able to do that. He felt he could trust us. So moments like that really kind of stand out for me more than anything. And I think
Yeah.
it's just something we've always strived to really do, is just create that network, create that atmosphere that people can come and just be themselves and talk about the darkest of times, or the best of times.
That's honestly incredible. And even individuals or community that's not necessarily affected by baby loss, how can they support SANS' mission and contribute to efforts in helping families that are affected by baby loss?
Yeah, again, I think in the community that we're in the baby loss community, we were very popular very quickly because there's a lot of partners of men that would have watched their partner struggle or shut themselves off or not talk about things. And I think when they saw what we were doing, they would openly encourage their partners to get involved, however they could, because from if you've been through that kind of thing, you would support something that's championing men talking about these things. The real growth is still happening. I don't think it's happened yet. It's still growing. There's still the stigma around mental health is changing. It's allowing more people to talk out and express how they feel. But overall, I think we'll only really expand exponentially when people from outside that haven't been through a loss really start to have conversations. That was one of the hardest things. Is like I said earlier, I had lots of friends, but they didn't know what to say or how to say it. And my very close friends, I would talk to them about it openly. I would say, like, what happened? Like, I didn't hear from you, or why didn't you message or ring? And a lot of them, the answers are normally the same. It's like, oh, I didn't know what to say, or I didn't want to upset you. And I'd say to them, like, the reality is, I've lost a child. Like, I'm always going to be upset. That's me for the rest of my life now. However, I would much rather you try and talk to me about it than not talk to me about it at all. So just have that little bit of bravery, start the conversation, and kind of, it's a bit like, I suppose, cancer from, say, 20 years ago. Nobody really wanted to talk about it. It was like this dreaded thing that everyone tried to hush away from. It's so much more normalized now because people have had that opportunity to have conversations and really learn and um, kind of grow with that and educate themselves in how to talk about cancer. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to normalize it a little bit, reduce the stigma, open up the conversation, and get people that haven't been through it or know somebody that might have been through it, just open up the doors to all of those conversations. And that's when I think the real attitudes will change, and we'll start seeing a massive change in how baby loss is dealt with worldwide, and so certainly in this country.
Yeah. And talking about people actually opening up and telling their story and sharing their side of their story and how they feel about it. Can you tell me more about the SANS podcast that you have available on your website and how people can actually get involved and listen to other people's stories so that it kind of brings together everyone as a community more than people feeling alone?
Yeah, so the Sons podcast was started by Jen, who I know really well. She was head of bereavement support at Sons, so anything to do with kind of bereavement support, she's in charge of. I actually did what they call a befriender training course. So it's a course that you can do. It's a voluntary course. It's free, and it helps me be able to talk to other people that have been through a loss at different stages, the wordings to use, the way to talk, like listening actively and not just kind of asking questions for the sake of asking. Like when people say, "Are you okay?" and you say, "Yeah," they're not really asking, "Are you okay?" Like it's asking and meaning it to ask. But the podcast is really there again to kind of open the door into the world of baby loss and how SANS operate and what they're trying to do, and how they work in terms of the help that they do with professionals and midwives and bereavement support at a professional level, but also in the wider community with the volunteer groups that run all over the country, and just again it's another way of normalizing the conversation, and trying to give people an insight into what our world looks like, if that makes sense, because we're still the same people, but we view things very differently now than when we did. I call it, that naivety that you've got when you haven't been through that kind of experience, and it's there to try and just again, give people an opportunity to channel in, listen in, take bits, whether you want to do it in 5-minute sections or not, because sometimes the conversations can, emotionally go up and down. So sometimes you can't just tune in for a whole hour. You need to just take snips in. So again, it's another great avenue for people to kind of get involved with the conversation and help learn things that they might. Hopefully, they'll never need to have that conversation with anybody. But if they do, hopefully they go into it better equipped than what they thought they might.
Yeah. And jumping back to the individuals in the community, how can people actually contribute to the families affected by baby loss?
I think contribution is just, whether it's for us. I mean, like I say, we're kind of like, we started as a local team. It was just Sunday League. It was, in a little town in the UK. It was nothing real major. But where people really made an impact was just kind of just whether it was social media, just sharing, talking about what the team was about, encouraging people to get involved, because I found that a lot of my friends and family and people that I meet even now, have been through a loss of some degree, whether it was an early miscarriage or a late loss, or even a neonatal death where a child passed away after birth. A lot more people than you realize have been through it, but they just don't talk about it. And it's not until you start having a conversation that one of them will go, "Oh, yeah, no, that happened to us like a few years ago." And even close friends, I never knew it happened because nobody talks about it. But it's just sharing that, getting it out there, getting it to as many kind of eyes and ears of dads and families, in general, will help, because you never, like I say, yes, we've got 35 plus teams across the country now in the UK, but there's still hundreds of men just in the UK alone that have never heard of us. So we've still got a job to do, and the only way we can really do that is by building a community, having people kind of share what we're doing, encourage it, and hopefully the word will spread as far as we can get it.
Well, hopefully after today, the word will spread even more. Thank you so much, Rob, for jumping on Soccer X
An
TV today. I
absolute
really
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure. It was great to hear your story.